Now, let's bring in the President and CEO of Security Watch Africa Initiatives, Patrick Agbambu. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you on Newsnight tonight. I wonder how troubling, really, it is for you. First, the earlier report before Ferdinand's report, where you saw Nigerians, heard them, really, really sad and, in pain about the situation, almost comparing the activities of Boko Haram to that of our security agencies. What do you think are the underlying, factors contributing to this, unending rivalry between the security agencies?
Yeah, thank you. It's very, very unfortunate and sad and condemnable. When this happened, I put up a call because I couldn't get to Adamawa myself. I was in Kaduna after the Kaduna incident to find out what really happened. It's quite sad because when this happened, it rubbish all the efforts you're making because you're telling the public that they are not safe. Anybody could attack them, and it could just say anything, because at the end of it, what has happened to the previous ones that committed such crimes? So it's been a big problem and it's been lingering. I will tell you that what I know very well is that all the services, their senior cadres work in harmony. They work there because there are forums of their meeting together. There are interactions. The problem we always have is the lower level of this personnel, and that is where the problem is. Again, it has to do with their level of comprehending issues and being able to understand. In security, they are taught to use their initiative some of the times, because what brings this, you're on line of duty and somebody, whether wearing mufti or even in uniform, there's an infraction that is committed by this officer, and he said, look, I'm so. There's courtesy that, okay, you should, since we are the same, we are serving the same country, we are
Is it not called esprit de corps?
Esprit de corps, yes. You are expected to at least accord some this. You are not saying free him, but you should accord some this now. No, we need to confirm, cross-check, and confirm that you are real.
Patrick, let me comment
and after
here.
Which actions can be taken. But most times, either because of the pressure in the society, they go overboard and commit a lot of heinous crimes.
Patrick, there must be something that perhaps we're missing. Perhaps maybe, I like the fact that you've been able to tell us that amongst the officers, there's this synergy amongst the rank and file is where you have the bickerings. Time was in this country during the military regimes, we've seen Commissioner of Police as state administrators. They worked harmoniously. So is it about the recruitment process to the extent that some people just coming in must have gotten it all wrong, to the extent that they believe that one is much more superior to another?
Okay, I will tell you, this is one of the issues I also took up some time ago when I said that an ordinary Nigerian who has interest to join any of the services, let's just take the military or the police. The military, you are given a training of 6 months. You already formed your character, your temperament. It's there. 6 months is not enough to transform you to becoming a very well-coordinated person. Because as a military man and you have to bear arm, you need to be coordinated and level-headed. And part of the thing they teach them is on how to the rules of engagement, the rules of using these arms. You can't just use it at any time. In fact, the most sober persons I have seen are those in the services.
Right.
That is how it should be,
because
you are trained
to
tame your anger most times. But what we've seen in the level cadre is that they didn't have enough time in the train through the regimental system. Once they come out, they are given some orientation and deployed. Then though they are still in service training, but that is not enough to change the psyche and the thinking and the character of that person.
Is the
so
country,
in the police, you have just 6 months.
I don't know how
9
troubling
months.
this might be for you. I once had a security man who actually said, I won't join police. He eventually did. I'm telling you, he eventually did. And I'm wondering how much training that could have gone in, to leading
by
to
9
his
months he's out
recruitment
wearing the police
at
uniform.
the end of the day. Governor Fintiri has ordered an investigation in this particular Adamawa situation. What questions really should be asked in a way that can unravel, what may have happened or led to this? Yeah,
I think that we shouldn't just take the Adamawa incident in isolation. There are a lot that is been happening. I think that as it is right now, I expect the Office of the National Security Advisor to carry out a holistic assessment of the situations. What is actually causing this? Yes, some people have said it's the superiority, rivalry, and the overlapping interest, and some of all these things. You need to be able to now streamline it, carry out orientation. Since we have identified where these problems are coming from, carry out orientation among them to find out that, listen, first of all, you are serving, you are working together. One of the things, system that was introduced to help to integrate them is forming joint patrols. They carry out a lot of activities together. They stay in camps together, some of these camps together, which is meant to make them to understand that we are all together. But some still believe that we are superior than or the other. It shouldn't be, because it's the same assignment you are carrying out.
To serve the public.
I think that part of the thing, the investigation should not just be there in Adamawa. And I know very well the Chief of Defense Staff is a man who takes this very, very seriously. I contact, and I know that
and before we get there, Patrick, sorry to cut you, before we get there, aren't we also running away from some of the key issues, cover-up, people not being penalized? I mean, it's just over a week ago we got news of a clash between EFCC and some naval officers in Kaduna over allegation of over allegation of fraud. Let's break it down to the ordinary language. 419 allegation. If it's a case of everyday Nigerian, will highlight that. That story has almost died because they said they're handling it. They waded in and they had this conversation. It's the same thing we're seeing at play here. People are not getting punished.
I'll tell you from what I understand and what I know. Sometimes, this military, because of their background and their training, the orientation, they don't make the punishment of their personnel public most of the times. There are a lot of trials that they go through. They set up a lot of panels to be able to look into this. In the police, there's the room trials that goes on each time. Most times, it's only police and some of these services that make public each of these steps. But the military, because of their training, they don't, because most times when a colleague, even though he has committed so much crime, is seen being punished publicly, it demoralizes the morale of those in the battlefield. So to prevent such, you handle it internally. Most times after they are dismissed, they are being handed over for civil trials. Most of them are being jailed, I can tell you that. The same thing police, they do these things, but it's just that this personnel still have not learned these lessons. That's
the point, and that's why we continue to ask, does anyone get punished at all, for these infractions?
I think they should make it more public.
What about psychological evaluation? How much of that really goes on within the forces, whether as a police, army, or what have you?
I'll tell you, it's a zero. I have to be frank with you, especially for the junior, because of, again, overstretching. Let me tell you, the system is so overstretched, both the military and the police. They're overstretched in terms of strength. There are lots of attention. The military, it's not conditioned to do what they're doing today. The number, in fact, they're everywhere now, every state. Today, as we speak, the military has presence in 34 states. They are not supposed to be there. But because of the kind of insecurity we're experiencing in the country today, most times, the state governors and the chief of, commander-in-chief, they request for them to be deployed. And that is where you see them. So they overstretch. And we are saying how they're even able to manage. That's why some people stay in the theater, in the battlefield. Like some have been in the Northeast for more than 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. They shouldn't be, because it affects their brain. By the time they come out, the PTSD is affecting them. The post-traumatic stress disorder is affecting them. So some of all this is a result of all overstretching of the system. Most of them don't go on break. They don't see their families. So these things tells on their psyche a lot. And we believe that the recruitment must be intensified. If we are serious, if we are a serious nation, we must take the issue of the security sector very seriously.
Not that we'll work. We'll always stay on this. And again, as we say, kudos to those who are in the fight. But again, it looks like the idle ones are the ones that will go to eateries and fight on behalf of the 419 people and get them released. It's still a painful and
unfortunately, some of them are still students.
You can imagine. So Patrick Agbambu, we'd like to thank you for your time as always.
Thank you very much. Thank you.